everyone, Bjorn Kunzel here, and today I will be the host of Alpha State of Mind. And Chris, you're going to be the person getting interviewed today, mate. How are you?
Shit, mate. Feeling in the hot seat. Cheers, brother.
In the hot seat, mate. First things first.
We've got a couple of cold brewskis, and that's how we like to keep it real and raw and refreshing on these EPs, mate. It's not about suits, lattes, and fancy cars and real estate all the time, but I'm on the hot seat. I've got to shut up, mate. It's all about... You're the host, right. So you take lead here, brother.
Chris, I want to delve in and I want to get a little bit deep today, and I want to talk about something that might push or trigger a few buttons, but I want honest, real and raw here.
Yep.
Because you've been a selling principal, a highly successful business of a Harcourt's franchise.
Yep.
And you left that a few years ago to come and do EXP with myself and Mike Lowry about just over 3 years ago. Now, what I want to know... is what was life back then like, being a selling principal versus what it's like now? And I'm not talking about dollars and cents and number of transactions. I want to know about life, like family life, work-life balance, managing staff versus not having to worry about staff, time with your family, holidays, that sort of stuff. Let's get deep here. What was it like being a selling principal?
Hard, man. It's tough. Like, I actually... feel for a lot of business owners out there that would be suffering in silence, because I know I was, man. I was in that place. If you looked at things from the outside, everything looked like I had made it. Life was good. Everything was humming along beautifully. Chris is not even 40. He's got this business. He's got people around him. It looked good from the outside, but internally, I felt like I was dying almost a slow death. Like, the turning point for me was when I said to my wife, if I keep going like this, I can't see myself surviving beyond 50 at a healthy rate of life and business.
All right,
that's how real it got, man.
Let's dive into that more.
Yep.
You felt like you were dying a slow death.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what anyone from the outside would see looking at it, observing. They'll be thinking, like, Chris has made it. He's director of a business. They've got multiple staff. Signboards going up everywhere. What was it about being a selling principal? Was it the management of the staff? Was it the financial pressures?
Yeah.
Was it the demands from staff on you? What was it exactly that made you feel like you were dying a slow death?
It's all above, man. Like, it was, there's just not enough time.
Okay.
I literally at times felt like time was getting ahead of me. Now, I don't suffer from anxiety. I don't suffer from depression, but there was times when I was a traditional business owner in real estate that I was like anxious. I felt like I couldn't get ahead of time. Like, time would consume me and my day, and there simply wasn't enough time in the day to transact a good volume of business and have a good quality in my transaction business, keep people around me happy, staff, employees, family, build a business and grow it at a healthy rate. The value that we put on time, and I say this all the time, time's the most precious commodity, right? And whilst people perceive from the outside that everything looked glossy and really good, I felt like I was losing a grip of time.
Okay.
I couldn't grasp enough time.
So you felt like a dog chasing their tail?
Yeah, I just felt like manic, man. I felt chaotic. And you know me, like, I love structure. I like waking up every day and going, I've got to do this is what I've got to do. Like, I'm really super organised. Man, every day. I mean, I had good days, don't get me wrong. There was days you'd get home and go, okay, cool, today was really organised. But then tomorrow, curveball. The following day, everything's chaotic, manic. It felt really chaotic, man. And I just didn't have control of organisation, structure, and time, most importantly.
It's important what you say there, because there's a saying, you lose money, you lose nothing.
Yeah.
Right? You lose your health, you lose something.
Yep.
You lose your integrity as a person, you lose everything. Now, when you're trying to be everything to everybody, there comes a point where it's all about everybody else and nothing is about you at all. So everything is just about keeping that staff member happy, keeping the books going, keeping the finance going. It's all about everything else. So you sort of feel like you're outside yourself in a way that it's, what about me? Yeah. Where's my fulfillment coming from? So, okay, compare that to now, being an agent of your own mind, with your own freedom to be able to do as you wish.
Yep.
Like we say, alpha state of mind, activate the inner beast. You get to do what you want to do. I know you're a super organised, super structured person.
Yeah.
What's it like now?
Well, it's Tuesday afternoon, 1:30, and we're having beers on the couch. So, yeah, that's always a good sign, mate.
Sure.
But, yeah, look, for me, what it's really taught me is a valuable lesson in that, like, we do exist to serve people in this universe, absolutely, but I learnt that I was probably serving the wrong people for the wrong reasons. And I was at that stage, man. Like, I got into business ownership, I was sort of mid-30s, and the natural progression is list and sell, have good transactions and volume, and eventually the natural step in progression in your career is to become a business owner. Yep. Invest, buy in a business, put capital down, put your balls on the line as I did. So you're financially committed, you're hedged, you got relationships and partnerships and stakeholders where you're committed as well. So there's a lot on the line. And then you got all these other people that you sort of take on that you've got to keep them happy as well.
Yeah.
And then often, you're right, man, you start forgetting about yourself and you start forgetting about your loved ones and what you do every day to create what we've got. And that's family, health, memories, memories for our kids. You start forgetting like that. Mate, there was points there I just felt like a hamster in the wheel. Like every day the alarm clock would go off and it was like, righto, the daily routine structure is get ready, drive in the office, be the first in, set the example, do all the prospecting calls, because what the guys and girls see, you got to set that example to them.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was, it got to a point, man, where I sort of felt like if I kept going at that pace, it wasn't, I was letting go of myself and who I was. I wasn't connecting to myself. I wasn't connecting with my wife. Our relationship wasn't rocky, man. Like, my wife is a very strong-willed, unconditional, loving, loyal person, but I wasn't giving her what she needed. She was giving me everything I needed, right? Okay. So for me to run my business, have the company, have my staff, my wife was serving me like unconditionally, endlessly. But I wasn't giving her what she needed. And I know if I had kept going down that path and that rabbit hole for probably another 5 years, I don't think she would have stood the test of time. As loyal as she is, she didn't deserve to go through as much as she probably did with me not hearing her and emotionally being available for her whilst I was going through that period of traditional business ownership. Fast forward today, mate. We've had a 4.5-month-old baby now, so obviously that side of the relationships
she's a winner, mate.
The sex life is going good, man, which is an important part in any relationship.
It is.
But we've found this whole deeper connection of love, appreciation. We're spending more time together. Yep. Whereas before it was like go to work, do your 10, 12-hour day, come home, maybe have a meal, maybe have a conversation. Yep. Maybe put the kids to bed, but by the time you're done for the day, you're so exhausted, you don't actually bond, you don't connect. Yeah. So our connection, our love, I think has gone to a whole new level. It's like it's just kicked this whole different trajectory in our relationship.
Yeah, awesome.
And it's the best it's probably been in the 10 years we've been together. It's a deeper love, affection, appreciation, acknowledgement, understanding, talking, like just having deep and meaningful conversations, man. Like last night, we sit together because we work from home. I sit together and have dinner more often than not, and I have more engaging, emotional, intellectual conversations with her.
I was just going to say that, touching on, obviously, in your previous life, we'll call it, you were in an office environment. Like you said, first one in, last one out, setting the example for everybody else. It's an important factor that you raise because I know myself, I could take the kids to school, I can pick the kids up from school. Even if I'm in my office, I'm still there, I'm still present with my kids. Yeah. Like my son's got a 3D printing business and he's drawn a line down the middle of my desk and he said, Dad, that's your side.
This is my real estate.
This is my side for my 3D printing business. But what happens is I'm in my office and I'm doing stuff and he comes in and does his 3D and we just have these little conversations and it's a connection. Now, even though I'm working, I couldn't do that at the office. Yeah. So it's an important fact that you said about, both working from home, that you've got more time to be present with each other because there's a difference between being there and being present. It's a big difference.
Shit, yeah, bro.
Like,
Yeah. I was there, but I wasn't really there. Yeah, that deer in the headlights. You're kind of taking in, but you're not really. And it goes with your kids. It goes with your wife. It goes with everything in between. But I think that's probably the most valuable learning. I mean, mate, let's be real. The divorce rate in our industry is horrendous.
Oh, it's terrible. It's probably rife. Sitting over 80% on sale.
It's rife. And it's sad. It's sad, man, because there's a lot of financial pressure. There's a lot of time away from home, loved ones. You're more at the office than with those. You should be around more. So for me, I I wanted to make a shift purely for that reason. I was like, well, I'm a family man, you're a family man. Yet we spend more time away from our family than with our family. Yet everything we're doing out there is for our family. Yet we're not with them.
And I've got to say...
Fucking makes no sense.
The stories that people hear about in real estate, fast cars, fast money, fast women, fast drugs... Cool. It's all bullshit, but it does exist. It's out there. It's absolutely rife within 100%. Our industry. It is absolutely rife. Yeah. Agents that don't feel fulfilled, and so they're seeking external. A lot of agents are alcoholics or drug addicts. Yeah. I hate to say it, but it's the truth.
Yep.
And I think it's because of the pressures of the traditional system, which has ground everybody in that. The boss isn't happy, right? The boss is making money though, so the boss isn't happy, so the boss is doing whatever the boss might do.
Yeah.
And then you've got the employees who feel like they're serving the boss, and the employees aren't happy because they feel like they're making the boss rich, but then the boss feels like he's the one giving to the employees to give them an option. And it's all this animosity and smile to each other's face, but it's a weird environment. I mean, I'm lucky because I've only ever been part of something small. So, small family business, I was part of 2 small family businesses before EXP come along. So I haven't experienced that franchise system, but I've seen it and I've observed the people that have come over to us from that system, and a lot of them were burnt out, a lot of them were ready to leave the industry, a lot of them had enough, and a lot of them were fed up.
Yeah.
And I think what EXP gives people is the ability just to have that little bit of freedom, work as fast-paced or as slow-paced as you want, earn as little or as much as you want, no KPIs, none of these stresses from outside pressures. It's basically on you. It's your success is whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
If you want to be $1 million agent, fine, you can do it. If you want to be a $200,000 agent, fine, you can do it. If you want to be a $500,000 agent, fine, you can do it. But what I've found is it's a lot easier to work from home without distractions and smash out 5 hours worth of work in 2 hours and then be present with your family than what it is to go to the office for the whole the show.
Let's be honest, man. When you went to the office, you were working probably 40-50% of the time at best.
Very unproductive.
And one of the things that it taught me was I knew who my real circle was and who was on my payroll books.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing. I've always been raised that a true reflection of a fine, upstanding gentleman is not what they say behind your back when you're not in the same room as you, but what they're prepared to say in front of your face when they're in the same room as you. And when I left, man, it was amazing how many, there was some animosity, but the people that you thought that were your circle were just like gone in an instant. In a blink of an eye, because they're not on your payroll books anymore. And look, don't get me wrong, man. I'm no fucking saint. I'm not going to sit here and say I've lived this picture perfect, preach this perfect life. Like, we've all made mistakes. I have too.
I've made plenty of mistakes,
but I've
sinned plenty of times too, mate. I'm not perfect by any means. Nobody is.
I actually love mistakes because they create some of the best learnings. The most valuable learnings in life actually come from mistakes, right? I believe a true testament of a fine, upstanding person with good credibility, very strong morals and ethics is all about how they own their mistakes, the accountability that they take. And I see so many people in an industry just keep repeating the same thing. It's like that vicious circle you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
They're making money, they're unhappy. They're doing drugs, they're having affairs, they're divorcing. It's just this circle, right? I could have absorbed myself in that circle and become accustomed and second nature to me too, but I went, no. Like, I had to pull the handbrake on and said, no, this isn't right for me and my family and what I stand for with our values. And I made the move. And it wasn't easy, man. It was fucking hard. Like, I lost people. Like, long-standing people that were in my circle for 30 plus years that are no longer. But as the saying goes, sometimes you've got to gravitate to the 5 most influential people in life that add purpose, empowerment, meaning that will uplift you and get you to that next phase in life. And that's where I'm at right now.
The thing I find, especially when it comes to friendships, is your true friends are the ones that'll piss you off. Right? Your true mates are the ones that'll say stuff to you. They'll say stuff to you and you'll be like,
what the fuck, bro?
Fuck off, arsehole. Like, what the fuck? But that's a true mate, because a true mate is honest. Like, not the people that always agree with you, but that's fake, right? No. But the people that will go, well, I disagree with that. I'll take... Me and Mike Lowry, for example, we are polar opposites, right? I think black, he thinks white. He goes left, I go right. You and I are like yin and yang, right? Yeah. But we can agree to disagree. But it's real because there's no bullshit, right? Yeah. Because if I've got something to say, I'll say, look, mate, I just think that... And you've said it to me before as well.
Yeah.
Look, hey, mate, when it comes to this, I'm just giving you some advice here. Well, hey, Chris, I disagree with this, whatever. And you're like, bloody arsehole.
Yeah.
But that's true friendship, is being able to bring up other people's flaws or weaknesses and say, hey, look, as a mate to mate, I'm just trying to not pull you up on it, but come on, buddy. You know what I mean? Because everything else, just agreeing with people is bullshit. It's just fake.
Mate,
and there's so much fake in the world, Chris, and it's so hard in this industry to know who your friends are.
Yeah.
Because especially as a selling principal, everybody would have loved you. It would have been all kissing Chris's ass for whatever reasons, because they want to be on Chris's good side or good books or whatever.
It's funny you say that, man. Like, Mel used to say to me for years, she's like, there's something there. You know how that woman intuition kicks in?
Yeah.
She'll be like, I don't know, there's something there. And I'll be like, what are you talking about? Nah, it's fine. They're all good. She'll be like, no, every time I walk into a room, there's kind of this whispering chitter-chatter, but as soon as I walk into the room, it's like quiet.
Yep.
And then it goes weird, awkward silence because I'm there. And I said, it's probably just because you're the boss's wife. I don't know. But she had this hunch, this intuition for quite some time about certain individuals that I thought the sun shined out of their asses. I was like, no way. That person is like the backbone of our business. Yep. They do everything. Man, was she right?
Yeah.
Well, I found out the reality of certain individuals when I was on the way out to do my own thing. Yep. Those that were apparently backing me and my advocates the whole time. But so I chose to do my own thing and went a different direction. Yep. And that's one thing I don't like about... I love Australia, mate. I just think some Australians have this small poppy syndrome.
They do. They see somebody growing and they just want to cut them down at the knees.
Well, it's this mentality, man, of do well, just don't do better than me.
Yes.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, anyone that I talk to that does better than me, that I've helped or mentored, and we've done many individuals in our team, there's some guys now writing better numbers than me that I introduced to this model that have been in the industry less time than me.
Yep.
They've grown more income, they've grown more wealth, they've bought more properties, they've done a lot more than me.
Yep.
Now, the thing is, I could sit on the sideline and go, oh, fuck, I gave that person all my goodwill.
Yeah.
I taught them. Why are they doing better than me? How could this happen? I'm like, hey, I could die today and know I imparted a little bit of a legacy onto somebody from my skills and experience.
But here's the thing.
That makes me sleep well, bro.
But here's the thing. I want to pull you up on that, right? Like, because better than you. But okay, have they got loving relationships? Do they have beautiful kids, right? Now, some of them do, some of them don't, right?
Yeah.
This is the thing with Australia. Everybody looks at success and measures success by money. But money is nothing, right? Money comes and money goes. Like, yes, everybody needs money, right? But just because somebody drives... Like, I was at the show the other day, right? And I was getting this massage in this massage chair, and I was listening to this guy talk to people. Yeah. And I gave him my card, and I said, mate, if you ever want to get into real estate, give me a call. And the first thing he said to me is, what car do you drive? And I said, why are you asking me that question? He goes, I want to see how successful you are. I said, mate, if your measure of success is what car I drive, I drive a Mitsubishi Pajero Sport, right? 2018 model. Do you think I give a fuck about my car? No. Have I got good friendships? Yes. Do I have property? Yes. Yeah. Have I got true wealth? Because there's a difference between riches and wealth. Right? Riches is money.
Yeah.
Wealth is love, happiness, true friends. You know, somebody that at 3 a.m. in the morning, you could be stranded 200 kilometres away. You ring them, they get in their car, they freaking come and grab you and get you out of trouble, right? Having beautiful kids that actually come home and love you as a parent, want to see you, right?
Squeeze you.
You know, so I really want to see Australia shift away from this whole everything's measured by money and start to understand that true wealth is happiness, right? The ultimate goal of what anyone wants to be is happy.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I've seen in you is you're happy.
Yeah, man.
Right? So I would say that you're better off than a lot of other people, but a lot of the people in our team are happy too because they've got that freedom that our team provides for agents. So So it's interesting to hear that you were sort of on the borderline of breakdown and respect. And it's interesting what you said about some friendships that you lost. Now, I was very fortunate that my previous principal, Max Demerick, Weeks and Macklin, top bloke, I was actually on the phone to him in the car talking about Las Vegas, what to do in Las Vegas, because he just got back from the World Series.
Yeah, right.
I was over there for a month, right?
Yep.
For those of you that don't know, Chris and I are on our way to Las Vegas because we won a trip to Vegas with EXP. Thank you very much, EXP.
We're heading over to the EXP conference. Can't wait.
Looking
About
forward to it,
7,000 industry global agents from EXP attending the one location. Three epic full days.
It's going to be amazing.
Oh, mate.
It's going to be
people are
amazing.
going to get sick of us. We're going to shoot so much cool content, I'm sure.
Watch our Facebook lives, guys. They're going to be blowing up. But, you know, Max was a true mate because he said to me, he said, look, I understand this thing, and if I was in your position, I'd be doing the same thing too.
Yeah.
I'm not in your position. I'm a selling principal and I've got to run my business, but I wish you all the best and I wish you well with it. Now, that proves to me that Max Demerick is a true, genuine mate and a good human being because when I spoke to him, he was saying, mate, I've seen your team's growing to like 46 agents or 56 agents, whatever it is. He goes, you guys are doing really well. I'm so happy for you.
That's awesome.
Right? Now, that's real, right?
Yeah.
But there's been other people that it's never going to work. What are you doing? They're calling it rain and they're pissing in the wind and all this sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you know, what's
but
the
mate,
need
it's
for that,
funny,
you know?
isn't it funny? Like, the fair dinkum Australian spirit is have a crack, mate.
It is.
Right? But yet, when people go to have a crack, as you and I have,
they cut you down.
People do well, just don't do better than me. And it's funny about the car, though, man. I caught up with an industry agent just the other week, and same thing, man. Oh, you drive a Ford Mondeo.
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Oh, I thought you drive a Mercedes. I'm like, what you see is what you get. It's not all smoke and mirrors. To be honest, that Mercedes gets me to the same destination in the same time as my Ford Mondeo that owes me nothing.
Exactly.
It owes me nothing. And I love the thing. It's economical. It runs on the smell of an oily rag. It's badged up. I love it. It's black and white. Like, what's it fucking matter? Mate, I could fucking pedal push it to an appointment.
Yeah.
I'm still going to go in and try and get the business the same way as if I rocked up in a Maserati, an Audi,
I'll tell you
Mercedes, or a Ford Mondeo, or a push bike. Like,
I know so many agents that are driving Maseratis and Mercedes, and this is a sad reality of our industry, and they are like 2 repayments away from repossession.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Living week by week. So they're living the champagne lifestyle on a water budget. Whereas I would rather live the water lifestyle and know that I've got bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles of champagne in the bank for a rainy day, for my kids, for my family, for my sister, for my mum and my dad, for my brothers, for my friends.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather be in a position where I can give to other people and help other people to make sure that everybody feeds, rather than be the one who pretends to be feasting every night by themselves. You know,
feast with many, not fathom. You know, in isolation. But
it's interesting what you said about failures as well, because the only true failure is being scared to fail, right? Because you look at Michael Jordan, right? Everyone thinks #1 basketball. Do you know how many failures that man had? How many shots were missed?
Clutch shots to win his game.
How many shots were missed in order for shots to be made? So if you're scared to fail, that's the only time. Because when you fail over and over and over again, you're actually succeeding, because you're getting one step closer to success.
100%, bro.
Whatever it is.
And that's why I said, I'm not perfect, man. I make mistakes. I'll still make mistakes in life. But it's how you learn from those mistakes. You pick yourself up and you have another crack and you go again, you know.
Awesome.
And that's probably my, you know, we're coming up on 22 minutes now, so we'll wrap up soon. But my tip to those, like, there's business owners out there that I know, there's some making incredible money, but their staff are starving.
Yes.
Right? And I know, because you always have a business. You always have generally a selling principal who's doing well, because they're selling lots, right? They generally make more selling themselves than what they're going to do running the business.
Yes.
They just generally have fallen into owning a business because that's the natural projection and path to go. I was in that path. I was in that trajectory as well. So there's always this like mixture in your business of selling principal. You get this couple of people that aspire to be like them, right? Because they drive the nice car and they look like they've got all the fabricated stuff money buys you, right?
Yep.
Whether their relationships are good or breaking down, or they're divorced and single and whatever else, I don't know. But so you're always going to have these good high performers that they're lured into that. That's what they're attracted to, right?
They want to be like that.
That's right.
They want to aspire to be that.
Yeah, and they're close with the business owner. They're buddy. You know, they'll hang out with them on weekends, have beer with them, whatnot.
Yep.
Then there's sort of your middle pack. They're the people that, to be honest, I found them some of the best people, because they're modest, they're humble, they're grounded, they're down to earth. They don't want to sell 100 homes. They don't want to write $1 million GCI. They're mums, dads. They're putting deals together, but they want to be there for school pickup. They're not the big gorilla that beats their chest and throws themselves around the office and say, I want, because I'm #1 or I'm #2 in the pecking order here.
Yep.
Your mid-range players are your sustainable players in business. They're the best. They're like your sweethearts, man. They are your best. They just come in, you give them some love, you make them happy, and they'll reciprocate it, you know. And then there's your low-hanging fruit. I mean, there's always low-hanging fruit in any industry that you do. Sometimes those people get attracted by the principal who's up the top, and they just don't know what it really takes to make it. But what I'm getting at here is that there's a lot of, you know, people that can surround yourself as a business owner for all the wrong reasons, you know, and I learnt that. So for those business owners out there that are struggling, just know that there's always options. You know, like I could have just kept going the way that I was, but for me, man, I'm a very committed person, and if I have doubt, I'll put the brakes and start to question and look and observe and understand why. And I did. I was having doubts, not about my partnerships, but more so my internal happiness.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, Chris, you know, I was 37 at the time, I think, 36 at the time. I was like, you need to look into
Well, you must have been 36 because you're not 40 yet, so...
Yeah, I am 40.
Oh, you are 40?
Yeah, I'm 40 now, this year.
You are, sorry.
So, this year? I'm 40 at the
I'll lose track of my age. I don't even know how old I am, mate. 42, 43, whatever. 44. I think I'm 40.
I feel 27.
I'm 44, I think.
28 anyway. But, you know, like...
Stop counting your age.
But I did, man. I had to make a conscious effort to actually stop in my busy world of being a business owner and listing and selling and keeping staff happy, to actually pause and reflect and look at myself internally. And if I didn't do that, I'd probably be where I was now today, and unhappy and miserable. I'd probably be on the brink of divorce, living lonely life, probably have money and equity and whatever else, but I don't have all the other stuff, which is this. So for those business owners that are out there, that sure, you might be making a lot of money, but if you're unsure about happiness, like, you can't put a price on that. That's eternally, man. You know, and I always say to people that it's not... People ask me, are you scared of death? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, wow, I'm scared of death. People scared of death. I'm like, fuck, it's going to happen, man. Like, I believe in God. Like, I truly believe in God. So I know after this life, God will take care of me and look after me and reconnect me with all my...
Amen, brother.
My lost family, right? Yep. So I feel great peace in that.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
What scares me, though, is the memories and the legacy I leave with my kids. Yes. The unknown world, right? Where do I leave my kids in this world? That's what scares me. So that's why I made some pivotal moves, as we did, to really set the kids up. So when I go, like, I can make money, man. I can earn commission, right? I can hustle. But what is it I'm going to leave for the kids when I'm gone? Because that's what scares me more than death.
It's interesting. Selling principle, you own the office, got a saleable asset, you've normally got a rent roll which you can sell, and you're obviously making a cut off the salespeople. But a lot of people don't understand, a lot of that money that you do make off those salespeople goes back into that business. So really, you're building a business to have a saleable asset or a saleable business. This is the thing I love about EXP, because we can list and sell, we can own a rent roll, and it's our own asset. We own all our own intellectual property.
Yep.
Right? So there's no stress of having to leave and where's that going to go and who's going to prospect your clients.
Yep.
We can grow teams and better other agents' lives and earn residual income from that way. So that way, one day when we're retiring, we can still be earning money, which is a legacy that you can actually gift to your children as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? And there's also referral partners and networkships for that. And we've got awarded in shares. So the things that have taken a lot of the stresses away from me, because I've never been a selling principal.
It's still there, though.
I've never owned a business.
But you've still got the opportunity.
But now at EXP, I am a selling principal, because I can compete against selling principals on the 100% split. So that stress is gone of losing business.
Yeah.
I can grow a rent roll that I don't have to manage, but I own the asset. So that stress is taken care of. I don't have to worry about Sue and Sharon and Cheryl, the property managers in the business, which I'm sure you had to worry about a lot of the time.
All the time.
I've got shares, which is equity and ownership in the business, which is something that I've never had, and you didn't even have in the other business. You would have been an owner of the business, but only if that business sells, or if you leave the business to be bought out. So there's a lot of things that EXP offers you, which are very similar, but just a hybrid of being a selling principal. And every single agent in our network is equal, and every single agent has that opportunity to be their own selling principal as per speak, without having to manage staff.
Man, I had that when I left what I had. People were like, you're fucking nuts. You're insane, dude. You've got, it's all on a platter for you. Your life is beautifully planned out. Like, it's there. It's a script for a fucking Hollywood movie. Yet Chris is fucking unhappy. On the brink of divorce, maybe. Like, if I keep going down this path, like, nah, man, that's not how I want to write my own script, right? So people actually planted seeds of doubt in me, like, oh, am I walking away from it? Is this the right decision? Now, we all have doubts as humans, like, that's how we operate, right? But I knew, I don't know, there was something in me, man, that I just knew I had all to gain and less to lose. And you know me, man, I'm like you, when we're in, like, we're all in. Like, we're full on people. We're pretty intense people.
We are.
I mean, this is intense in itself. But, you know, like, so when I go in, I know fucking I'm all in here. And I do back myself. Like, it's one of my proud attributes, I think, and the great quality that I have, and you have it as well. So, mate, there's like something incredibly empowering, just backing yourself. I get inspired by people like you that are willing to have a crack and back yourself. And well, mate, I did it. Life's good. Looking back now, and you only know when you made the right move, when you've made the move, and you can look back on that move. A lot of people sit on the fence. A lot of people I talk to sit on the fence for so much time, and they miss so many golden opportunities. Sometimes you just got to take, complete power and control and back yourself and have a crack, because failure is more so in the mind than what the reality of the outcome of failure really is.
Reward goes to those that take the risks, Chris, and that's something that you've definitely done in life, and it's something that's definitely paid off for you. And it's good to hear that you're happy, that your family's doing well, that you're healthy, that you're the best version of yourself, and that you're actually enjoying life. 100%. Like, let's face it, it's all about happiness. So that wraps it up for another episode of Alpha State of Mind, and stay tuned for the next episode where I will not be the host. Bye for now.
I'll jump in the hot seat. Thanks, legends. Cheers.
See you guys.
Thanks,
bye.
Bro.